Oh, hey there, Craig. Do you see our Today All Day viewers?
I see them.
Don't they look great?
It's a great-looking crowd. We sure hope you're enjoying your Thursday. And welcome back to another edition of our little digital show called Today in 30. We've got a lot going on, so let's break it down today.
First, we'll have a report from Surfside, Florida, where the search and rescue has now become a recovery effort at the site of that condo collapse. Just ahead, what officials are saying about the closure they hope to give the victims' families and where the investigation goes from here.
And then Kate Snow's exclusive conversation with 8 of Bill Cosby's accusers on their shock at his sudden release and the strength that they are now finding in each other.
Plus, Jill Martin has a story about a woman who struggled with skincare issues and she took action. Her solution sparked the beginning of a booming business.
And if you're trying to stay cool this summer, we've got the scoop on some new products that you're going to want to get your hands on. So maybe we should get started, Chanel.
Let's do it.
It's time for Today in 30. Welcome to Today. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday morning. Savannah and Hoda are both off, and down in Florida, it went from hopeful to heartbreak.
Absolutely. In fact, we begin with the news out of Surfside, Florida this morning, where it was 2 weeks ago today at 1:30 in the morning when the Champlain Towers South partially collapsed. At the time, officials announcing 1 person was killed and 99 were unaccounted for.
Rescuers worked around the clock as both the death toll and the number of missing continued to go up. Then on Sunday, the decision was made to demolish the remainder of that building, an effort to open up an unreachable area amid fears of Tropical Storm Elsa.
Then last night, the news many had been expecting, the operation turning from rescue to recovery. Officials telling families there was, quote, no chance of life in the rubble.
Then a short time later, hundreds of those first responders gathered by the site for an emotional moment of silence for the now 54 people confirmed dead and 86 others who are still missing. NBC's Morgan Chesky has covered the story from the very beginning. He remains on duty for us there in Surfside. Morgan, good morning.
Yeah, Craig, Savannah, good morning. And there was so much hope when this search began. Everyone knew as soon as that tower fell that the clock was ticking. But with the last survivor now pulled from that pile of rubble 15 days ago, this switch to recovery is heading home.
This morning in Surfside, 2 weeks worth of tears spilling over after a search and rescue mission unlike anything seen in Florida history. A painful and emotional admission from officials.
We've decided, based on everything that's been given to us, that there are no live victims.
A rescue mission shifting to recovery as the death toll only rises. Crews finding 18 more bodies Wednesday. 54 people now confirmed dead. More than 80 others still missing.
Our first responders have truly searched that pile every single day since the collapse, as if they're searching for their own loved ones.
The chances of finding anyone else alive, officials say, nearly impossible. But their 24/7 mission far from over.
But we can and we will do everything in our power possible to identify all of the victims and to offer closure to the families.
The news devastating for the families of those lost and draining for the crews working their way through the rubble. Captain Ignatius Carroll says every day that passed without a rescue took a toll.
It's been very heavy on everyone that's here. There has not been a dry eye out on that search operations since we started.
The massive undertaking more than a job.
Anytime that we found a person, we would stop, you would give a moment of silence, and there would be a line created by the search and rescue personnel as they bring that person off of that pile.
And it was that pile crews lined Wednesday, standing shoulder to shoulder in absolute silence, paying tribute to those lost and promising to make families whole one final time.
Such a powerful image there, Morgan. So much emotion from the families who've lost loved ones to those emergency responders who've been sifting through that rubble for weeks now. You were there at the ceremony last night. What was it like?
Yeah, Craig, it was beyond powerful. You had members of the community standing amongst first responders, joined by members of the clergy who were saying prayers as people held candles and clutched rosaries. One of the families of those still missing telling me that as they now approach this thought of a worst-case scenario, they just want to be reunited with their loved one, to say goodbye. Greg?
Closure. Morgan Chesky for us there in Surfside. Morgan, thank you.
This morning, we have an exclusive reveal of tennis phenom Naomi Osaka on the cover of Time magazine as she opens up about mental health.
NBC's Stephanie Gosk is here with more stuff. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Naomi Osaka describes herself as an introvert. She says speaking up and speaking out give her anxiety, but that is exactly what she's doing in this essay, calling on professional sports and the media to show some empathy, that not all athletes are the same, and maybe the expectations should change. Dropping out of the French Open shocked the tennis world. Then Naomi Osaka withdrew from Wimbledon. Now, on her own terms and in her own words, the 23-year-old is explaining why. Writing in Time magazine, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it. She explains, I wanted to skip press conferences at Roland Garros to exercise self-care and preservation of my mental health. I stand by that. Athletes are humans. But tournament officials insisted she face the press, like every other player. Osaka writes, I felt under a great amount of pressure to disclose my symptoms, frankly because the press and the tournament did not believe me. I do not wish that on anyone. Ranked number 2 in the world, the young star has a proposal for all professional sports. Writing, we can enact measures to protect athletes, especially the fragile ones. Osaka says, give athletes the right to take a mental break from media scrutiny on a rare occasion without being subject to strict sanctions. But in a twist, the spotlight on Osaka has only grown brighter.
People might think I'm quiet, different, that I don't fit the box of what an Olympian should be.
Overnight, the International Olympic Committee launching its Stronger Together campaign.
But I am proof that the definition is bigger than people think.
Osaka, who will play for Japan in the Olympic Games, with a message for young female athletes.
And if we don't fit that expectation of what people think we're supposed to be, good.
It is a message that is echoed in her Netflix series, launching next week.
I always had this pressure to maintain the squeaky image, but now I don't care what anyone has to say.
In her essay, Osaka thanks those who stood by her, including Michelle Obama, Steph Curry, and Novak Djokovic. The tennis great admits she is uncomfortable being the spokesperson of athlete mental health, but then adds, Michael Phelps told me that by speaking up, I may have saved a life. If that's true, then it was all worth it.
And Steph, Naomi Osaka thanked those who supported her, but she also reflected how divided the reaction was, to her decision to drop out of the French Open.
Yeah, and she was really surprised by it, by how intense it was and how split it was. And she said she learned an important lesson, one that a lot of people know. You can't please everyone.
Yeah.
And as far as those Olympics are concerned, they are her first. Pressure is going to be intense there as well, also to speak publicly. So it'll be interesting to see how she handles that.
And I worry there will be even more tension on her now because of all of this. So it's almost like the cycle continues. Martin said, thank you.
You're welcome.
By the way, that issue of Time is on newsstands tomorrow.
Back Thursday morning with In Depth today. This morning, an exclusive conversation with 8 of Bill Cosby's accusers.
7 of them first spoke out to NBC News in an unprecedented Dateline interview nearly 6 years ago. Now they're sharing their reaction to Cosby's release, their reflections on the last 6 years, and their hopes for the future.
NBC's senior national correspondent Kate Snow has been on this story from the very beginning. She joins us once again this morning. Kate, good morning.
Good morning, Craig and Chanel. They knew that Bill Cosby was appealing his convictions. Some of them even listened to the arguments before the Pennsylvania Supreme Court months ago, and they say they had a bad feeling. But for most of these women, the decision to release Cosby came as a total shock. They are 8 of the more than 60 who have accused Bill Cosby. And with Cosby a free man, they say their support for each other and the work they can do together is more important than ever.
When they heard Bill Cosby would walk free, there was anger and more.
Sickened. Disgusted.
Victoria, who are you most angry at?
I'm angry at the legal system. We put our necks on the line, and then the legal system yanked the rug out from under us.
I'm feeling frustrated and upset because I feel like a bully has been let go.
I'm concerned for the victims of sexual assault that they will have that attitude of, why bother?
Why bother telling my story?
I was drugged and raped.
6 years ago, all but one of these women joined a group of more than 20 to share their stories about Bill Cosby.
How many of you believe you were drugged by Bill Cosby? How many of you believe Bill Cosby raped you?
Their accusations ranging from harassment to groping to sexual assault and rape. Many of the stories were strikingly similar. Bill Cosby and his lawyers deny any of it ever happened.
We come on the air with breaking news. Bill Cosby has been released from prison.
Now the Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision overturning Cosby's 2018 indecent assault conviction brings the women back together.
There's a fire inside of me that has just made me want to go out and make change even more than I did in 2015.
He was not proclaimed innocent. I think those of us in our sisterhood need to hold on to that.
The point the Supreme Court made over and over was that this was a due process issue, that Bill Cosby was essentially promised by a prosecutor that he would never be prosecuted, and then he was, and that violated his rights.
And what is the evidence of that? What is the evidence of that promise?
Show the proof.
Bill Cosby's representative called the court's decision a victory for Black America.
This is not about race. It's about rape. The only place that race plays into this is the fact that Bill Cosby was disproportionately targeting Black women.
2 of these women testified in support of Andrea Constant.
Lisa Lott, do you regret that?
Absolutely not. I would go back and do it again. This man has spent 2 years and 9 months in jail. This man has lost his entire reputation. He's lost every bit of credibility that he's ever had.
It's worth the public knowing the magnitude of character assassination, of blaming and shaming, of silencing, and yet we've still found the strength to transform our tragedy into political power.
Since speaking out, many of Cosby's accusers have fought to change the statute of limitations on sexual assault and succeeded in several states.
This may be the kickstart that we need for more states to get involved.
Their survivor sisterhood, they say, the sweetest thing to come out of their trauma.
I am ready and raring to go and will do anything and speak my truth to anyone that needs it.
I'm very, very proud to know all of these women.
We have opened the floodgates for so many people who had previously never felt safe in speaking out. Predators are being put on notice.
Barbara Bowman told me that she would tell anyone out there who's still carrying a story to find someone who will listen. Some of them will be at a vigil this Saturday evening in Philadelphia. There's also an event in Chicago, Craig.
So, Kate, I mean, Cosby out of prison now. Does he face other legal issues at all?
Yeah, he does, actually, Craig. There's a civil suit against Cosby in Los Angeles that's moving forward right now. An attorney for that accuser, Gloria Allred, said Wednesday that they'll be asking the court to allow a second deposition of Bill Cosby in that case. The next hearing for that is mid-August, guys.
Right. Our senior national correspondent, Kate Snow, for us this morning. Kate, thank you.
All right, time for the boost. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll give it a shot here. If you think that your neighborhood bar or restaurant has pretty good customer service, wait until you see this. There's a restaurant in Dublin, Ireland, taking customer service to a whole new level. A bartender named Frankie removed one of the patio umbrellas from the restaurant that he works at, and he used it to walk a customer home in the rain. Frankie at the Pines, going above and beyond. One can only assume that Frankie got a pretty good tip, too.
Oh, and that's just good energy to do that. Yeah. That's sweet.
Hey, today in 30, I just left the studio and I'm in the car going home, and I'm so proud of today's She Made It and how strong our entrepreneur we featured is today. We both grew up with skin insecurities, and she turned it into quite a business. So I hope you'll check it out.
We are back with one of our favorite series here, She Made It, and an amazing story of how one woman built a booming business inspired by her biggest insecurity.
I love this one. Coco is a major skincare brand that's known for its superfood ingredients like matcha and turmeric. But what you might not know is that Cocokine's founder, Priscilla Tsai, struggled for years with hormonal acne before she created her own solution. And now she's sharing it with the world. Take a look.
Skin anxiety is very similar to body anxiety, and it's almost like the psychological effects are greater than sometimes the physical effects of having skin issues.
Priscilla Sy and I have something in common, and it runs skin deep. So this story is really impactful for me because I grew up with really bad skin. It was called pizza face, didn't go to school, would cry in bed. When I think back, it was such a traumatic experience from my childhood. What do you remember about having bad skin from your childhood?
I dealt with, going to prom and trying to find a quote-unquote like high back dress, which there are not a lot of. And so to me, it was about feeling like someone was not looking at me or seeing me, but instead just staring at my skin.
Priscilla's insecurities followed her through school and into her first job on Wall Street.
I was working 12 to 14 hours a day, and every morning I would just put on a ton of makeup using a brush, and then I would go to work. I would do that same cycle during lunchtime because I would feel like my makeup was making me break out. I wouldn't go to lunch sometimes with my coworkers because of that.
Priscilla spent her free time buying raw ingredients and mixing up her own formulas at home, and eventually quit her job to create her own skincare line. Did you say to yourself, I know nothing about skincare except that I don't like mine? All right, I'm in finance, but I want to be in skincare. What was that first step?
So at first, it's just about getting the knowledge and making sure I was talking to the right people, whether it was a chemist or a product developer, business people to help me figure out what licenses do I need, what insurance do I need, basic things like that.
Coco Kind officially launched in 2015 with 5 products, including a cleansing oil, skin butter, and lip balm.
We launched a website, but no one really comes to a website when they don't know who you are.
She started by pitching her product to local Whole Foods stores, sending samples, and following up a lot.
We actually got on the shelves of Whole Foods within 2 months of quote-unquote launching, and so that helped us get revenue immediately and pay for our next production runs.
Today, Coco Kind is available in 5,000 stores nationwide, including every Whole Foods in the U.S. And Coco Kind has over 85,000 followers on TikTok.
So when we launch a product that is helpful for acne, we show actually someone who has acne. Of course, we're not going to show someone who has perfect skin, and we're not going to have these very unrealistic before and afters. We've all been there, and we know that we're tired of that marketing.
What would you say to that young girl out there watching who is struggling with skin issues now?
I would say that you're beautiful and that skin is something that is so unique, and the challenges that you face, you are not alone in that whatsoever. Now I look at my skincare journey and I realize that's part of who I am, and that's part of what makes my individual beauty so unique.
Wow. Really a beautiful story, and how a childhood insecurity could wind up being your future. Sure. And so we have some of the most popular products here. I wanted to highlight one that's our Phoebe, our producer's favorite.
Okay.
It's a My Matcha Stick. It's a lip balm, but it has coconut oil, matcha, and beeswax in it. Ooh. And it's an all-over moisture stick. So you could use it under your eyes, just as a little spruce up. So I'm going to send you home with one to try it out. And your beautiful mama with her beautiful eyes to try it
love
too.
That.
Yeah.
This is really cool.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story.
And thank you for sharing that.
This could be our favorite segment yet. So if your idea of cooling down is to grab a big spoon and dig into a frosty treat, you are in the right place.
Yeah, I call it mom tax. I just steal the kids. July is National Ice Cream Month. So we asked lifestyle expert and Amazon Live host Alejandro Ramos for some cool tools to enhance your ice cream experience. Check it out.
There are few tastier ways of staying cool during these hot summer months, and with some delicious ice cream. Whether you love eating it, want to try your hand at making it, or maybe even play with it, I've got the scoop on the hottest ice cream products and gadgets that are going to add a whole sprinkle of fun to your summer. Imagine having your very own ice cream parlor right in your own kitchen. You kind of can now with the Chef and Sweet Spot ice cream maker from Williams-Sonoma. This comes with a base that you pop in your freezer overnight, you pour in an ice cream mix and whatever your favorite toppings are. I went with vanilla and sprinkles for that birthday cake flavor. Then you push it around with the included paddles, just like they do at the ice cream shop. In a few minutes, you have your own homemade ice cream, just the way you like it. If Sundays are more your thing, Dash makes these very cute mini waffle bowl makers Pour in a little batter. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes and you get these super cute waffle cone bowls. You can add ice cream, your favorite toppings, Sunday fun day, anytime you want. Every ice cream shop needs the right tools. Zeril has been making ice cream scoops since 1935. They've got heat conductive liquid sealed into the center. It works with your own body heat, so no matter how hard that ice cream is, you're gonna get a perfect scoop every single time. Nobody wants a bowl of melted ice cream. That's why you should get yourself a set of these bowls from Nordstrom. They're insulated and they keep your cold foods and ice cream cold so you can enjoy every single bite without the mess. Plus, when you've got the perfect bowl, you also need a perfect spoon. These mood spoons change color when you dip them into cold temperatures. How cool is that? You've heard of avocado toast, but have you heard of avocado sprinkles? These super cute avocado-shaped sprinkles from Wilton look like little slices of avocado and are the perfect topper for all your favorite ice cream treats. But don't worry, they don't taste like guacamole. If you're more into ice pops and ice cream, get yourself a set of these ice pop holders. You can use them with any kind of pop. You just put the handle right in and it'll catch all the drips while you enjoy your ice pop. At the end, you can even use this little straw to make sure you don't waste a single drop. Want to get the kids involved? Get yourself one of these super fun ice cream balls. You put rock salt and water on one side, and then you put your favorite ice cream mix and toppings on the other side. Then you let the kids throw it around, kick it, have fun with it for about 15 to 30 minutes. When you open it back up, you're gonna have freshly churned homemade ice cream the whole family will enjoy. No matter what the nutrition facts say, I think the perfect ice cream serving size is a whole pint. Best eaten on the couch while watching your favorite shows. But if you want to keep the ice cream from melting and your hands warm, get yourself a set of these cozies. I found them on Amazon. They work with any kind of pint you buy at the grocery store, and they even have a little slot to hold your spoon when you need to use the remote. Okay, so since we've been talking about ice cream, I can't go without sharing one of my all-time favorite ice cream secrets. Say you don't finish the whole pint all in one shot while watching your shows. I don't always. Before you put it back in the freezer, get out one of those zipped freezer bags and pop it in there first. Seal it up nice and tight. This is gonna prevent air from hitting the ice cream. It's gonna prevent that freezer burn, those little crystals that totally ruin it. But the best part is that it's gonna keep it from freezing too hard. So you're always gonna get that creamy, scoopable, luscious, perfect ice cream every single time you indulge. Hope you guys love these tips. Have the most amazing summer.
So check out those ice cream gadgets. Click on that QR code right there on your screen. Head to today.com/shop.
Be sure to join us tomorrow. Duran Duran is treating us to some new music.
Man, I picked the wrong week to take off. Right? Have a great day. We'll see you bright and early tomorrow.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Find your favorite recipes, celebrity interviews, uplifting stories, shop our favorite deals, and so much more with the Today app. Download it now.